we probably need to talk about the whole Messi situation, right? Messi has been caught with the other one, he's been caught with the other women, as it were, with going to Saudi Arabia on holiday. And if you listen to Joe Pompliano, he's saying that Saudi Arabia have offered him like 400 million a year to go and play there. So he's been suspended by PSG. I think the fine is like 1.7 million euros. He's not going to play for the next 2 weeks. The season only is 3 weeks left. I think it's probably quite safe to say it's the last time. Is it the last time we've seen him in a PSG shirt?
Yeah, gun to my head. Is it the last time we've seen him in a PSG shirt? Yeah, I would say so. I think I lean towards like you said, for the following reasons. One, there's not many games left of the season. They've got, PSG are PSG. They're out of the Champions League. I'm sure they'll mop up the league. I don't know what the points difference is right now, but I'm sure they'll be fine. Even though they've had a tricky couple of weeks, you just couldn't write it, could you? Like Messi going on a little trip to Saudi Arabia. I think training was cancelled or something, and then they put training back on, and he's still on the plane, and he's a bit like, well, I'm not turning around now, type of thing. I don't know, how it all happened timing wise, but that's basically what happened. And I don't know. I mean, the chanting outside of homes and outside the ground, we want Messi this, we don't want him to play for us, and all this sort of stuff. I mean, those PSG fans don't know how lucky they are, mate. I was lucky enough to go watch this team live 2 months ago. Messi scores a winner. I watch Neymar play. I watch him back. They're so spoiled, I think, as a fan base. They just don't appreciate. Sometimes you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone, and that's very true in all aspects of life.
Well, Barcelona are feeling that way. A lot of people are saying he'll go back to Barca. Obviously, I think, Harry, I want him to go to Man City. I would love Man City to roll out the red carpet and go and make it happen. Sell half of their academy to make it happen through financial fair play. Just go and sell those 20 guys that are on loan to all those teams in Spain and America and Holland and whatever, and then just bring Messi into the league for 1 year. If you imagine putting Messi into that Man City team right now, it would be phenomenal. Because I don't think anyone else in Europe is on the table, really, are they?
It doesn't look like, does it? Like you said, you mentioned Barcelona. Yeah, that romantically makes sense. Going back home, but yeah, if you're Messi, you've just won the World Cup. That's sort of ticked off. The only thing you've not really done is try it in the Premier League, and we don't know how high that ranks in his and his sort of team's. I don't know, wants and needs, whatever it is. I don't know if he wants that on his CV or needs that on his CV to really, categorize himself as whatever. He probably knows he's the GOAT. But what I'm saying? From a fan's perspective, does he really think that we want him to go there? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's an interesting conversation. Obviously, Pep being there helps massively. That'd be great. Well, do you need to go to Saudi this year, really? Is that 400 million not going to be there in 2 years? I'm sure it will be, and it might be 500-600 at that point. So it's go to the Prem maybe for a year. With the best team, you're not gonna have to do much running. You're gonna be pampered. Everything's gonna be there for you. I think that makes a lot of sense, but then so does going back to Barca, doesn't it? I don't know. I think those two right now for me are the front runners. I can't see anything else happening right now. I don't see MLS now. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Messi being on the transfer market this summer was huge news, but the other news that sent shockwaves across world football was Jude Bellingham looks to be set to go to Real Madrid. Before we get into that, Dortmund have got a lot to do against Wolfsburg this weekend, and how good is this? The guys at QuinnBet have enhanced their UK welcome offer where you can now get a free bet up to £35. It's for new customers that sign up only. You can check out the full terms and conditions on their website, quinnbet.com, or see the link in the description in this video or the pinned comment. It looks really impressive to me. It's 18 plus, and remember, folks, always gamble responsibly. We know the big transfer that's happened this week, or it seems to be all done, Jude Bellingham looks to be signed, sealed, and delivered. And I think Bellingham going to Real Madrid, that could be something that really just kicks them up a gear for the next, we could have another Real Madrid dynasty for the next 10 years with that midfield that they've built with Bellingham in it.
100%, mate. I mean, I remember when Bellingham played against Man City a couple months ago in the Champions League, and I'm lying, it was against Chelsea, and it was said that his whoever Bellingham's agents are, whatever, met with Real Madrid that sort of evening. And he didn't really have a great game on the night. I think it was at Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And yeah, I mean, ever since then, it seemed like the Real Madrid was going to be the destination for him. And like you said, over the last couple of days, it kind of solidified that a little bit more. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's massive for them to acquire like a really big English talent. I think is probably the way to look at it, because I saw a tweet from somebody saying, for Real Madrid to sort of attract the biggest on paper, the biggest English talent right now is huge for like the next couple of years in terms of bringing more in, if that makes sense. Because English players don't necessarily really, or British players in general, don't really go to Spain that often. We saw Bale was probably the last big one. Obviously, before that, we had the Owens and Beckhams and stuff, but we haven't really had one since. I can't really think. Maybe it's escaping me, but there's not, right. So it's like, I think this sort of Bellingham move will kind of kickstart maybe a conveyor belt of talent that maybe Bellingham can kind of just tap up a little bit and be like, come and play for us, at Madrid, rather than going to your cities. Like a lot of these younger kids at English sort of academies and stuff might be touted to start going, abroad a bit sooner in that sense, and not signing for like a Chelsea academy and being left on the bench for 4 years, or things like that. I think we're going to see maybe a trend. But yeah, in terms of like who their options in midfield, Quinny, it's just going to be frightening. In terms of younger, your Camavingas, Tchouaméni's been hot and cold recently for me, and there's been rumors that he might actually end up leaving, even though he's a completely different player to Bellingham in terms of style and what he offers. But yeah, Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and then you got your Valverde's, Kroos's, and Modric's, who are
Bellingham, like, he made headlines obviously leaving Birmingham for that fee to Borussia Dortmund, rejecting Man United. Birmingham then retire his shirt number, and then he goes to that football science laboratory that is Borussia Dortmund, and they've turned him into this, European class midfielder. And going to that Real Madrid team, he's conquered everything, man. He's so young. And this guy could go on to be like easily like the best midfielder over the next 10 to 15 years. And having that year, like playing alongside Modric, playing alongside Kroos, and that real powerhouse that Real Madrid have built in Europe over the last 10 years, they've probably done the best job of anyone in modern football of trying to transition through a dynasty, if you know what I mean, trying to transition through a huge period of success. They've shaped up probably better than anyone has, I think, to do that.